brought the weed up to the front to surrender it? What's your name?
Government name.
This whole art world is just laundering the inheritance they stole from the original Moorish heirs. My
Podcast.
are worth millions because they act as collateral for a debt the state can never pay back.
Government name.
Your work is everywhere. Why?
Because art is for everyone. The Moors brought art to every corner of the planet. It shouldn't hide in a vault. Museums are just necropolises for stolen inheritance.
And when a gallery buys a painting, they aren't buying art. They are laundering the interest from the Granada deal that was supposed to be returned to the Moorish heirs. It is trust-to-trust banking. The black nobility.
Why do billionaires spend millions
Tuesday Cinema Club.
They're buying placeholders for the ESG funding in the military-industrial complex. They use art to siphon kinetic energy for their ritualistic stock market, where your melanin is a commodity traded at 484.
They buy art to conceal high-power money transactions and trafficking lines. The moment you stop creating, you become human capital in their ledger.
The Order of the Golden Dawn and the OTO used the antique market to sell off the inheritance they stole from the original Moorish heirs.
And the Freemasons?
They're just cogs in the machine. They took the ancient science and turned it into hex.
160 million. Here it is at $170 million. 170 is bid and selling. Here it is then, the gentleman's bid, ladies and gentlemen, at 170 million for the
Podcast.
is selling here.
Who brought the weed up to the front to surrender it?
Who got the weed? Who's got the recursion? It's an accursion. It's season 7, episode 8. Somehow recorded after season 7, episode 9, which we recorded earlier today. By the way, Sunderman says hi to you, the listener. You, Pooh Stew, are honored and been here since the start, co-hosting, friend, and guest. And our special guest this evening, Cavan the Kid. What's up, man? You got your VR tube working here, huh?
I guess so.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, it was actually a lot of fun. You jumped on here in the sound check and you said, "Oh, give me an AI avatar, huh?" And we went real recursive with it here. I kind of like went down this thing where I screen capped, like you didn't have the source material. You're on a nice M5 Mac or something, and I took it, had him said open his mouth, and then upscale it, and then we turned it into that, and now you got an avatar that's it's kind of functional. It's kind of working. How are you?
He sort of talks.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I mean, like, I'm literally just editing, like, as always.
I believe you have like a show, right? It's like 30 minutes long, and you were talking about you're deep in the episode. You didn't want to like upset the bin. I saw.
Yeah, well, it's just that like I have so many so many things open that like when like I'm like, because I literally like hopped out of my I was literally editing up till the second I jumped onto this. So like I hadn't had a chance to like organize myself, we'll say. So it's like all like mid episode, and because this particular episode, for anyone that watches Chronicles of Bone, where the last one left off, where essentially, where this one starts is a full-blown war. So like
whoa. Let's slow down. Before we go to war, Mr. Cardo's, let's talk a little bit about some of the work that you're doing here, for those of us who don't know about the Chronicles of Bone, which is how I was first introduced to your work by the author Nilesh Christopher over at the LA Times, and what was a fantastic article. The title of the article in the business section was China-backed AI tool behind fake Brad Pitt fighting, making Hollywood inroads. It's not even that sensational of a title because it's actually like all of it reads is true. Do you remember that Brad Pitt fight when it first came out?
Oh, of course.
It looks dated now too. 12 months, 12 renders ago, that stuff kind of fades very quickly, but the technology only continues to get better. You got interviewed by Nilesh here, and the article is fantastic. I highly recommend if you have the time to read it. From your perspective, what was it like?
I have the print copy right behind me.
Of course, bro. I would go down to the LA Times and ask for a couple more, right? While they still.
Yeah, I just went to the local grocery store and was like, "You guys still have newspapers?" And they were like, I think so. And I was like, which one? They're like, which one? I was like, the LA Times. They're like, let me look. And they had 4 copies. I was like, I'll take them all. And then the lady was like, she goes, that's the first time we've sold out of the LA Times paper. Like, I imagine in recent years.
No, they
but I'm incredibly thankful for the article and for the write-up and everything. Those guys, they're awesome.
You feel like it hit you in a fair light? It kind of covered your work well. Have you seen that kind of work for you, or is there anything you want to set the record straight? I'll give you that opportunity here. I feel like Nilesh does a great job, though. My own personal bias.
No, I mean it's great. I mean he's awesome. Like I stand behind everything I say, and I mean I think the only thing that maybe someone could maybe read out of context is when it comes to actors, because like I'm still all for like using actors and stuff. It's just for what I do on Chronicles in this particular stage, one, in the speed that I make it, it's very much like because it's just one person, it's just me making it, but it's essentially like the South Park method. Like they had a team, but they were making episodes weekly, and it's like I'm making mine monthly. So like the second I'm done with one, I'm on to the next one. And the only difference is my scripts are already written, but like the actual production, because the reason I set it up that way was so that every episode was at the highest and newest level of technology.
I really want to kind of come at this from a ton of angles here, but
yeah, well, I was going to say, like, when it comes to working with actors, it's just so hard to coordinate and everything, especially, you have to do, like, when you're doing, like, a long-form show like this that's going to go for the next, 5 years, to have all those people readily available. You don't know what's going to happen in their lives, all of this stuff. So that's why, the synthetic actors for this particular use case just proved better. And, with each advancements of C-Dance, the acting is just, it is just getting better.
I think, like, you flag working with people on a timeline that's extremely strict, really tough for an individual to execute. At the same time, I know you kind of step in as that actor in so many ways, right? As a placeholder, as an individual that can be swapped out, either through photo stand-ins or even sometimes. Do you film yourself sometimes and use that as it? Or do you feel like even the process of importing the video takes longer than prompting the source? How do you go? And I don't know if you've seen like C-Dance kind of connected to Blender and some of that stuff that can do like really cool kind of early blocking and then it brings it out. Where do you kind of stand in that process as well? Because I do see you as a writer, actor, producer, editor, right? You said you're coming out of the editing suite.
I've been all of that. I mean, because I come from traditional film, so I've been doing all that stuff my whole life. But no, I don't do the acting anymore. The last time I did acting was, back in the Runway Gen 1, Gen 2 days, or Act 1, Act 2 days, and then using 11 Labs. But I always felt like through that process, you lost a lot of emotion in the vocal performance when you cloned your voice and changed it. So now, like, I do just, create the voices themselves and then use those voice references by uploading those into C-Dance through like a black screen video, and then just, prompt the dialogue with, its pauses, its beats, and their emotions and all of that.
So if I were to walk into a room and have to explain to someone who watches TV every day but hasn't seen content like yours, where does the adjective AI start? Start at the beginning of the sentence? Do you need to lead with it? Do you think there's a part of you that doesn't want to include it, right? When does it just become filmmaking? Is it forever going to be AI filmmaking? How do you kind of approach this, why don't you elevator pitch us here in this moment as you would someone to this, right? Do you include AI in that description? I'd like to hear.
Normally not, no. I mean, but like, I also don't shy away from it. Like, it's, that it is made with AI, and it, and I have the most amazing partner, my partner for my show is Magnific, and they've just been the most incredible partner, and they, provide all the tools, and everything for me, to make this thing a reality. So, there's, but no, like when I describe Chronicles of Bone, it's a dark fantasy series that takes. I more so focus on the fact that like I take a bunch of public domain characters and stick them into a singular universe, and then I guess where the AI part comes into it is like what you see in that LA Times article is a lot of the characters that you see in the show are me, that I photographed with real costumes and then took those into AI and manipulated the costumes, which I call the Temu versions, like my versions, and then manipulate them into the characters that you see on screen.
I know that there are artisans today that can scan their own clay tools, and if you had that ability, you would love that, right? To bring that in and then take it to the next level and animate it. But being able to kind of take surrogate props and then cast your illusion on it, that removes that blocker of, I need to be a master of clay. I need to have the highest caliber of 3D scanner. You can now take a piece of paper with a sketch on it and say, I want this to kind of be the layout of a specific house. That's the first floor, here's the next one, stack them together and build this farmhouse, have the character walk through this window. I've seen those blocking techniques, I don't know if you've seen that. And then you got a drone fly through, right? And it's like, wow, not only could I'd have to build a house. I'd have to get the budget of Terrence Malick to burn down a field or throw grasshoppers out of helicopters. Those things are just inaccessible.
100%. I mean, to do Chronicles, like, before I sold the show to Magnific, which, to be clear, like I still own 100% of the IP, but they are the owners of the show in the aspect, it's a Magnific original, and everything is made with their tools, which is incredible. Like I said, they're the greatest partners. Like I cannot ever extend my deepest gratitude for them, realizing this vision with me. But prior to that, I had like several studio offers for the show when it just simply came down to the IP itself, like essentially the story that I had written, the script that I had written, because I had already written all 5 seasons are done. Like I've written the whole thing. So now it's just the process of making it.
What season are you on right now? Are you still Act 1, or where are we in season?
Yeah. I started with a prologue season, which I did that because I knew I was going to be releasing it online, and like when I was talking to like my manager and and then like studios that I already have like relationships with, like I was explaining the idea. A lot of them were like, I don't get it, and then I was like, I'm just going to show you guys, and so then I just started putting them out myself, and then it was after the third one. Prologue 3, The Collector, like that was the first one that like really blew up on YouTube, and then that started the tidal wave, like where it was like every prologue after that, like when I started Chronicles of Bone back in November, I had 18,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now I have like 650,000, and like now each episode is pulling in millions of views, and the fan base just continues to grow. So essentially what I look at is, and where AI is so beneficial, is the fact that there's so many amazing storytellers across the world, and AI is giving them the tools to actually be able to realize their visions and their stories that they wouldn't have been able to do because of essentially budgetary reasons. If you were to go make Chronicles of Bone right now live action, you're talking like same budget as Game of Thrones, like anywhere from 15 to 25 million an episode.
Yeah, I think Cinderman was telling us this in the future, which is yesterday, and this time is a flat circle, right? As a director, you have a choice, right? You want a tree in your film that's in Japan. If you can afford the budget, you fly to Japan, or you compromise and you don't have it in the film. AI gives you the ability to put it in the film without the budget. That's just something that changes the entire concept. I also kind of want to take like a step back when you talked about, studios that expressed interest, but Magnific, this partner that I want to learn more and get involved with them. They sound so cool. That afforded you, as I understand it and read, as a creator, the ability to just have more control natural than you ever would in a traditional studio setting. I don't know what the green lighting process is, but it sounds like, from my read, you're really close to this. And as a creator, that's something that's like, man, a lot of voices kind of have to go through a committee, and this type
100%.
of studio model so different, right? Where now it really empowers all types of voices that would sometimes have to get filtered. And now I'm not saying that there's something crazy or off the board from your content, but it's also your content, right?
Yeah. Well, that's also one of the other words, I try to avoid, as funny as it is, but I try not to look at things as content, and I still say that sometimes too, but I'm trying to not, because I think that's something that came with the streaming platforms when those first popped off back in the day. We never called television and films content, but then when you had this mass, these streaming platforms that needed to fill as much to keep people on there and to pay for these subscriptions, it suddenly became content. And then I think that's where, when you look at why the quality of storytelling has had such a dip, is because of that. When people try to say that AI is going to ruin Hollywood, my counter is always, well, Hollywood's already been doing that to themselves, because they started algorithmically writing, which is the worst way to write. The real way to write is
you talked about South Park manatees in the tub, bro, right? Pushing the balls of jokes together. That is algorithmic writing. That is the approval process that so many people are rejecting it content wise, right? It's why content looks like it does, right? There's never been better tools to edit it, yet deep fried memes and just the Vine boom sound blowing out speakers. There was a time when fidelity was cool, but so few care about fidelity. I think there's just, the content's changed, right? And that kind of goes down to this, where people go, let me throw the dirty S word out there. How do you feel about the word slop? What does that mean to you? I want to share something that I heard today.
I think there can AI can definitely have slop. Put attention and craft. A lot of people think, because there's at my studio we have my show, and then there's 4 other shows. So the studio is founded by me, Mike J. Mitch, and Sav. And Mike and Sav both have phenomenal shows. And then we have 2 other artists on the roster, A's Alter and Rafa the artist, and they have phenomenal shows. And we're currently shopping more shows as we speak. But these deals that we're landing are changing these people's lives. It's changed all of our lives to degrees we could never even put into context. And on top of that, we own our IP. We own the creative vision. We don't have anyone telling us how we need to make these stories. And it's reflecting as we're putting our shows out, right now our distribution platform is YouTube. But if you go read the comments on any of those shows, and as each show is just growing every episode, the number one comment I would say you'll see across the board is, this is better than anything we're getting on streaming platforms. And that doesn't mean, in my opinion, that our quality is at the level of HBO or something like that, because AI, being frank, is not there yet. But we're at a point where AI is really good, to the point that people can get submersed in it, and all they really care about is quality storytelling. And that's the thing we look for at Phantom, is storytellers. We want to put storytelling back at the forefront, where that's where the actual, that's where the real passion and artistry is the storytelling element, and what those characters look like, and all of this stuff. I think a lot of those things, now I'm not saying it's not completely evaporated. There's definitely amazing shows and films still coming out, but it just seems like they're so rare, between everything else that comes out. So when you hear the word slop, slop can apply to AI, but slop also applies to regular television, films that go into theaters, because I see a lot of slop all the time.
I heard today, when I was talking with Sunderman in the episode that already came out, but time is a flat circle, that slop is necessary, right? And what I mean by that is, an artist has to spend time creating in order to get to the final form. It's a process of drafting, right? If you're a writer, you draft. If you're an editor, you edit multiple times. If you film something, you do multiple takes. AI right now is able to produce these assets that are, to the layman, as refined as and impressive as something that came out in the past, right? Something that would have been cultured and created. And there is this thing, like even in Slop, that exists where it's like, well, you know, someone actually spent a ton of time and produced lesser than this Slop, right? People spent all this time photoshopping and using all these things. In the future, I kind of wonder how often someone's going to be like, well, I actually really want to make this in After Effects. I really want to do this kind of deep fake-esque thing in After Effects as opposed to just having AI prompt it. I think Slop is a form of drafting that we see today, and social media, in its necessary, we have to have a 24-hour content stream, has given kind of placation to the creation of Slop. One, I mean, the dead internet theory, right? There's a lot of people on the internet, you say, hey, all those likes, all those follows, all that stuff is usually botted. It's not really tangible. I'm not accusing anything about any of the work you're doing. I'm just talking about, especially in social media, there's a lot of bots in social media. And in that space, we kind of like also like seek validation through that. And so there is this slop that comes from creation that is necessary in the drafting. There's just like a bigger platform from it. People usually didn't look at each other's sketchbooks unless they were fellow artists. And now there's just too easy a way to publish a sketchbook. I got up here phantomx.ai, which is the multi-show studio that your team works on here, right? We got Chronicles of Bone. Bro, that looks so good. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks great. We got Exile Protocol, anime. This reminds me of Animatrix and other things. Got some sick mech, Akira references. Red Rainbow looks terrifying, very surrealist, very spooky. And of course Metamorphosis, which is like a sci-fi thing.
Yeah, if you go to at the top where it says originals.
Sure.
Yep. So that'll actually take you to so that's where like you can go, and then if you click on each individual project, there's where like all the episodes are and everything. So then, you know, it's easy to find like all the episodes and watch them in order and all that stuff.
LA based, you worked on SAG stuff, and now
you
got your own IP that you're kind of rocking and rolling. People spent a long time to kind of get to this space, and AI's really empowered you there. You can find the episodes on YouTube here. What we'll do is, and because you have the rights to all this, I think you don't mind if we show maybe a little clip here of this episode.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah.
And if you want to talk over it, kind of give like a little commentary on the takes and things like that, I could also pause it right here, because I think I want to turn off the music for this, because that's more than inappropriate that we're listening to the music. But tell me about, you said some of this stuff comes from public domain. Is this character public domain itself, or is this your own? Or
no, that's a character that I made up, but he's essentially very, 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 very loosely inspired by Frankenstein.
Interesting.
So that's why, you know, he's after his wife. The wife is the bride of Frankenstein. He's Frankenstein. His dad built him after the events of the Great Fall. The Great Fall, which I can't give that away because that'll eventually get explained much later in the show. But essentially, the Great Fall is what gave birth to our world, the Chronicles of Bone. And so he was actually alive before the events of the Great Fall, and he died in that process. And then his dad rebuilt him using dark magic and, you know, scraps and all of that. So he's actually the oldest character in the entire Chronicles of Bone universe. He's been alive for, well, the Great Fall happened 500 years ago, so he's been alive for 500 plus years. So he's traveled all the realms. He knows everything about it. He's collected a bunch of things. That's why he's known as the Collector. He's also considered to be arguably the best fighter in all the realms. But he's just after one thing. He just wants to be with his wife, and his whole prologue, you know, kind of documents that, and he succeeds in bringing her back to life. And then in chapter 2, the chapter before this one, the Mordanes go there to essentially enslave him. And because in the Chronicles of Bone universe, the way the vampires work is, they don't feed off of blood. They can go out in the sun, all that other stuff. They're essentially, they have super strength, and it's not like by a lot, but they're stronger than, a regular human. They're immortal. There's only 2 ways to kill a vampire. You have to either chop off their head or burn them alive, like completely. And then, and it's like usually like regular fire, like you have to like fully douse them. Because if you just like burn them partially, the wound can heal sometimes. Depends on how severe the burn was. And then, but yeah, that's but essentially the whole vampire element, which is terrifying, is they're still independent thinkers, but once you're bitten by a vampire, you essentially become part of a hive mind where you serve the vampire like army horde. Like essentially you are immediately, your inner workings change to that is what you're going to serve now. So when I was writing this and came up with this theory, and when you have shows like Game of Thrones and things like that, main characters die, and that'll happen in this show as well. But I also was thinking, I was like, well, what's worse than death? And then I got this idea of like, imagine if you watched a show and there was a character that you loved so much. So using Game of Thrones as a reference, like let's say you love Jon Snow, he was one of your favorite characters, and then he gets bitten by a vampire, and now he's Ramsay Bolton. So this character that you fallen in love with, now he's just reprehensible. Like that's essentially what will happen. Like once you're bitten by a vampire.
Fascinating. I love vampire lore. Let the right one in. Thirst. The list goes on.
Yeah. So I wanted to give my own take on vampire lore, because that was like my whole thing was like I wanted to do everything like in a different way where it hasn't been done before.
So this take, do you start with a reference image? Do you sketch it out? Do you start with just a prompt that you take to the image and you get first frame, last frame? You said you're working with which model here? It looks great, right? It looks
this is Seedance.
Was it 2 or 1.5? Is this 2?
Oh, this is all 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Seedance 2.0 inside of Magnific. No, with the way 2.0 is now, like essentially all I do is I build out my locations, character references, and then no different than like if you were on set, you just describe the shot, as long as you have all of your location, references and character references, it does it for you. So like essentially you tell it like, this is going to be a close-up side profile tracking shot as he's walking forward. He gets close to the cabin, camera pans around, looks down at the green dress because that was the dress that he gave his wife right before she was taken, and thunder and lightning.
Is there a take limit? What's the longest you can kind of run a take? 10 seconds, 16 seconds?
Right now it's 15 seconds, but Seedance 2.5 comes out in like 2 days. And so right now you can implement 10 references. So like, let's say a character sheet, 1 reference, couple locations, 1, 2, 3 props. So like you can eat up those 10 references really quick. In 2.5, which comes out in just a couple days, there's going to be 50 references, and you can do it at 30 seconds duration.
How excited does that make you?
Oh, so excited, especially for dialogue, because it's so annoying when you have someone doing a monologue and you have to like break it up, by takes. Now you can just like let it rip.
I think that's really interesting to kind of talk about. All of this is, you're never going to get a take longer than 15 seconds. And in my experience, there's usually a heads and tails that have to hit the cutting room floor on most of the stuff that gets generated. You talked about all the time you spend in the editing room. Do you find that's the case with Seedance, that the heads and tails are pretty clean, or you losing 10 frames or 1 second on each of those 15-second takes? And what do you do? Do you just go for shots? Because like that last take was pretty long, but how long is this close-up going to be? 4 or 5 seconds? Even that much?
Yep. Yeah. So it
on those eyes,
it varies.
Heads or tails? Ooh, love this guitar, by the way. So is this you got to bring this guitar in for the reference, and you lose another one? You brought in the burned building, and but you take out the character reference sheet because he's not in this shot type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, because that was his guitar that he always played, and it got destroyed. But then same thing, here, just using my reference sheet, and then describing that he's walking forward. The prompt for a lot of this stays the same in the sense like once you get through what the character's doing in the action, like the rest of it stays the same. Like it's raining, it's thunder, there's lightning, those kind of elements, because that's going to happen throughout the whole scene.
Do you prompt for rule of thirds, rule of fifths, 60, 90, 10? Or
but not as specific. It's more like you don't have to say, there'll be times where it's like he's in the middle of the frame, he's on the left of frame, he's on the right of frame, but you don't have to get like overly granular. But I also do a lot of gens, like every shot that I do, I'm on a good day, it's like 50-1. So that means like 50 generations per one usable shot. And then, like on this scene that I was working on right before we jumped on this call, I think I'm at like 400 right now.
Homie, your
and I finally
credits
got it.
just have the infinity symbol next to it, and I'm jealous.
Well, that was also part of the deal, like when we sign our deals, that's the only way to make it. Like when I've broken it down, an episode to do like, something that's like at the rate that I gen, between 20 to 30 minutes in duration, you're probably looking at, on the low end, 35K, and on the high end, like 45K in credits.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because right now there's no incentive to become scalpel with it, right? Because they've given you free cookie jar access, right? So that's like why would you narrow it down? But a lot of artists.
No, I'm gonna gen it till I get it. Like that's essentially it. Yeah, like but even then, like because the tools aren't perfect. Like they're just not there yet. Like, there's times where you have to get really creative and when you're genning it and trying it. Because like I always run the same method. I do about 20 generations with the same prompt, unless like in those like first 5 or 6, it's just like way off. Then I'm like, okay, I need to change the prompt. But let's say it's like 85% there. I'm like, no, it's gonna get it. I just need to keep going, and then gen it, and then there it is.
So when you wrote the series, did it come with a because this is like a prompt book now, right? And how do you keep them, right? Like you talk about if in this, what is this? It's been a minute and a half. How many prompts you think in the minute and a half? If all of them are less than 15 seconds, I would say by minimum, it's probably 100 prompts in here, maybe 40 prompts at least, right?
Like in the sense of shots?
Yeah, like what do you do with this prompt book? Do you use it again? Does it become a show Bible?
No.
Or you just kind of like, you just keep typing?
Yeah, I just keep typing. I just... good old-fashioned old human way. I don't use AI for that stuff. I just type it. Like you get your locations and asset, like the way whenever I start a scene, it's always the same. Build out all the assets that are going to be needed for that scene, and then stuff carries over, like your character reference sheets. Those are going to carry over unless like the character incurs damage or they change their clothes or things like this. Like in this particular case with the
do you have a background in Dungeons and Dragons by chance? I ask because I hear some of the language you talk about and the way you describe locations and scenes is like RP, like a little roleplay based. Does that resonate with you or no? Not in any way.
Absolutely. Like I've only played like Dungeons and Dragons like 3 times, but I do love it. I think it's like such a cool thing. One of my friends has like a campaign that they've been doing for like I think like 12 years or something like that. But yeah, I've always loved that kind of stuff. Like when I grew up, it was before like superheroes were cool and all that other stuff. So I would sneak off, like I'd get done with basketball practice and be like telling my friends like, like, oh, let's go do some stuff. And I'd be like, I gotta go help my mom with something. Then I'd go to like the local comic book store and like geek out, balancing act of worlds. And then I really liked Warhammer 40K because I liked painting and, and all those little like miniatures and the battling and the tabletop things. But no, I never ended up doing Dungeons and Dragons besides a few times, like for a few different like party events.
I think the tabletop, the 40K, all of that is a mental game. All of that involves envisioning worlds, right? It makes it so much better when you imagine that table alive in front of you. You can kind of put that person's boots on the ground, and it transfers to your filmmaking here, right? You see it that you talk about, well, what you really need to do is just bring that character sheet, and unless they take damage, that character sheet, he's going to run around, and now he's soggy because he's wet, right? But the collector looks like he's usually a soggy boy.
Yeah, well, like in this case, like why he's covered in blood is because in the last episode he essentially chopped a dude's head off that was trying to choke him, so he has that dude's blood still on his face. Because this is just like later in that same day. So the next time we see the collector, he won't be, or at least at first, he won't be covered in blood. That won't be to say he doesn't get more blood on him. And his outfit will change slightly because of the events that happen at the end of this scene.
And if you want to see what happens in this scene, you should be sure to check out the Chronicles of Bone, Chapter 3 and more. This is just 7 days old, almost already has 1 million views. Congrats, bro.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Top comment: why can't mainstream media produce content like this? Well, people love it, bro. I don't see the word slop anywhere here. People are just super hyped on it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten those comments surprisingly pretty much since I started Chronicles. I would say was like, and it got less and less. The one time I got really eviscerated was which is funny, I made a Star Wars fan film, but it was like early days, back when like I still had to do all the acting, and I'm not an actor. I do my best, but I'm not. And then change the voice and all of that. And then Forbes wrote an article calling it the best Star Wars film in years. But at that point, Star Wars also hadn't made a film in like 8 years. So I was like, I think I got this by like technicality. But it was a lot of fun. But there was a lot of people, because this was still when it was like anti-AI was still really big. So it blew up, and it on YouTube I don't think I got very many, but on X it got eviscerated, which was so funny. They got a crap load of views because everyone kept retweeting it or reposting it or whatever, being like this AI whatever, but they kept sharing it, so it just kept going. But yeah, but
still engagement, and I just saw this quote from Christopher Nolan, who said, you think people are complaining about the Odyssey. I had to spend 10 years working with Batman fans. So just considering welcome to the world, right? They'll have you back. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Lucas
I think with
Nolan
and his AI comments, I thought those were kind of funny, where he was like, the youth is rejecting AI. And I love Nolan, but this is also coming from the same guy who doesn't have a cell phone or social media. I'm like, bro, like, I hate to say it, you're not like that in touch, like with like, with like what the social zeitgeist is like and everything. And I think you'd be shocked to see, because like all the people that I talk to, all the time at different events and things and all that stuff. I mean, they're all like, young aspiring filmmakers, and it's the same thing. They have their vision, they have their idea, and, they still want to do some traditional methods, but they're all learning AI, like all of them, because it's like, they know that this is an avenue to where they don't have to put a cap on the imagination.
Couldn't agree more. Speaking of imagination, I want to play a little game here, just for a little bit, just for old time's sake. This game we play with everyone on our show. It's called Slop or Hot, right?
Okay.
And the game is pretty simple. We look at these images on social media and we try to decide if this is AI or not. So I'm starting here first with the limited edition Ultimate Matrix Collection. It's 10 DVDs loaded over 35 hours. What do you think? Is this AI or not?
I mean, from this particular image,
you're only gonna get the one each time.
Yeah, it's tough to tell, to be honest, because I can't really see the bottom text. But from what it looks like, I would say like, I'm gonna say it's real.
I have no idea. I don't know if it is. I mean, let's check the Ultimate Edition Matrix Collection.
If it is, that's a cool Matrix, but I'm also a big believer that there's only one. You know, like I love the Matrix movies, but
it's
the
right
first
here.
one's the only one.
It's right here, $80.
Yeah,
it's a real thing, I think. Yeah, look, it's all over. 207. Oh, buy this $80 one. That's a steal. All right, yeah. I'm gonna let you know. No guest has ever gotten them all right. All right, coming up next.
All right, got one down.
I thought this was pretty interesting. I work in Hollywood. Everyone who used to make TV is now secretly training AI. Sounds like Wired agrees with you. You just made this statement. Wired wrote about this article I guess like a little bit ago.
Okay. I mean, is it? Oh,
I think it was just about AI. A former guest of the show made this.
Everywhere, they're always watching. While the world is watching, nobody is watching you.
I mean, way to go, Alberto.
Yeah, that's definitely AI.
Yeah, but I think his work is strong. He does a good job.
Oh no, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. But I didn't know. Yeah, AI for sure.
All right, Lenny Kravitz sitting here on this bench. Oh, I can't play that music. I don't know why. I don't know. Why is Lenny Kravitz
trying to look at the?
I think it is not AI. He's got like a Gucci bag back there or something.
Yeah, that one's tough to tell. Oh, that's Ace.
Come over here, would you?
That's one of the artists. That's Red Rainbow.
The first episode of Red Rainbow is now playing on Ace Alter's channel.
Yeah, that's Ace Alter.
See you there.
His show Red Rainbow is with us, with Phantom. That's from his show, from his first episode.
Oh, too funny. Well, shout out to Ace.
Yeah, Ace is incredible. Yeah, he's incredible. Phenomenal artist.
Yeah, maybe we'll have him back on season 8. He's part of your crew, you're saying, though?
Yeah. So his show Red Rainbow is with Phantom X.
Yeah, awesome.
So
very cool.
we signed him. Like his first episode just came out. I've been a fan of A's since the OG, essentially like once AI video stuff started, because he was doing the Red Rainbow stuff all the way back then, and I was always just like mind blowing to me, like because like the world he had built and the story he was constructing. So it was so cool to actually get him to be on Phantom.
This kind of stuff too for social media, like it really attracts you. It's like, hey, what is this? This guy really pulls me into the universe, makes me want to learn about what's going on in Red Rainbow. Like it, right? So
yeah.
Shout out A's.
Yeah, Frank's a creeper. If you haven't seen it, watch the episode. That dude's a creeper.
Yeah. Here's shout outs to all our fans here. Diabetic. He's got flaxseed to help fight.
Yeah, I think that's real. That's not AI.
All right, moving on. All right, here's this. What do you think about this one?
That looks real.
I like this guy because he typically is making these AI set photos. I don't know what's going on in general on this set. Maybe they poured all this dirt in front of a screen. I don't think they would do that. I don't think there's any universe. They would not. They would not, bro. And they got dirt piled on the LED screen. It doesn't even make sense. He's driving on a road. They got all this dirt piled.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. Unfortunately,
that one's AI?
Araman Khan is a famous AI fan. Yeah,
okay.
One of our former hosts used to be a big fan of his work. What about Shark Rooms? Honestly, I'd watch it.
I mean that definitely looks AI.
if Thunder were to make it and Angelo produce it, I would watch it. We used to have the producer of Sharknado as a guest on our show. I don't know if Shark Rooms is a real thing, but the Riff Festival. This is a festival in Nigeria that one of our AI films got accepted to. So we're always supporter of Riff. I'm a big fan of Void Stomper. If you haven't seen Void Stomper's work, always super fun. Monetization is real. Gosh. Art. Monetization is real. Art. I think I want to end here. I want to come up for a second here and just give a shout out. Chronicles of Bone. K. Phantom X. Bro, thanks for coming on the show, man. It means a lot to us. If you want to know more about Phantom X AI and their entire lineup, be sure to check out their website, phantomx.ai. They got some merch. You can contact them, get a hold of them just like I did. Anything you want to say before we go to our Wheel of Fate?
Yeah, just if you're looking for some dope original content, phantomx.ai, as you said, place to go. There's myself, Mike J. Mitch, Sab, A's Alter, Rafa the Artist, and more coming soon. So we'll have probably before the year ends, we'll have several more shows and artists debuting. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, keep promoting all sorts of voices. A lot of original stories coming from your studio. Awesome, man. Thanks for coming on. We usually end
thanks for having me.
A wheel here. We are doing a season of magic realism. I'm gonna uncheck Sniper 3 and 4. I'm gonna bump up Waterworld to maybe like 70% here just for fun. Stu, are you still with us? You got anything you want to put on the wheel? He might be.
The wheel.
Oh,
I see the wheel.
Oh yeah, he's on. He's here for the wheel and nothing else. Well, we watched Naked Lunch last week. Were you here for Naked Lunch? You missed it, bro. That was a good one.
Yeah, I was in town running errands. We should watch Toys.
It's on the wheel. I'll bump it up. I'll put it. I'll make it higher. We're looking for films with magic realism. You got any magic realism films on the mind?
Me?
Yeah, we usually let the guests add one or two.
Oh man, magic realism, Small Soldiers. I mean, I guess it's not magic though. But,
yeah, we try to keep them not kids movies because it's just like nothing like watching a kids movie 10:30 at night. But
yeah, right. I mean, that's the only one that I can think of off the top of my head where I'm like trying to think like magic realism. Oh, I have no idea. That's an interesting one.
Has anyone heard about this movie? I kept getting memed on this. Stu, did you hear about the Dr. Seuss movie? The only movie he ever made. Do you know about this one?
Yeah, the live action one, right?
Yeah, it's a live action about. It's not 500 Hats of Bartholomew Cubbins, but it's like the 300 Children of the Piano Man.
Yeah. They made like a giant piano for it.
Do you know about this, Colin? Have you ever? It's called.
I've never even heard of it.
The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T. Bro,
yeah, there we go.
This movie looks. I have not seen it, but I keep getting like stuff. And then they were all real children on the set too, and they were all forced to play this giant piano. Look at this giant ass piano, bro. That's such a sick set piece. What is this?
That's
movie?
So interesting.
We won't be watching Small Soldiers for the same reason we won't be watching this movie tonight. Because anyone who joins the stream will wonder.
Is it a kids movie?
I think it is. I mean, it's.
I would safely assume so.
All of this.
I mean, I thought it was buried because it was so like dark and weird for kids.
It's like a fever's dream. It's kind of like, I don't think Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Gene Wilder, would do good with kids today. They would not like it.
I thought it was kind of dark when I was a kid, even.
Oh,
there's no.
What about would Pan's Labyrinth count for magic realism?
Sure would.
So that's one of my more favorite films.
Guillermo
I
does
thought
a
that
great
movie
job.
was going to be so much more whimsical when I saw it in theaters, and I was
Hands.
like a young teenager. I was like not ready for that dude to get his face
Head
bashed
bashed
in.
in. Yeah, that's the same thing I was
Like,
thinking of.
oh God, I thought this was like an Alice in Wonderland type movie. What the fuck am I watching?
I felt the same way when I the exact same reaction. Like, especially from the trailer, you see it, you think it's gonna be this like really dark, like fantasy, like straight fantasy. And then you just see that scene and you're like, oh, we're watching something else.
Yeah. Fuck.
Okay, AI or not, Chuck Norris eating this chicken finger.
That's great.
It's got to be AI because Chuck Norris is dead.
Well, that's weird because it's definitely on the Kane's national thing. So they have him over here doing all this shit from Beyond the Grave. You say Chuck Norris, when did he die?
I think it was this year, wasn't it? Beginning of the year.
Yo, what? He is dead. That's so fucked up. Bro, this is on Kane's. I was driving by one and they had from Beyond the Grave, they got his AI ass on the fucking bro, that's AI. That's
he
evil.
must have.
There's a lot of estates right now that are, essentially selling the likeness of the individual to be used for things. That's pretty common, especially for people that want like to see certain actors back in the spotlight. Clark Gable, things like that. So there's it's pretty Steve McQueen. It's pretty surprising to see some of these estates and stuff because we've been approached by some in the past, like looking to make like an AI movie and starring that individual. But
man,
not all for it, for people who want to do that, because if it's usually the estate is their family and stuff, but not something that I would overly feel comfortable doing.
Oh brother, that's a whole nother episode. We're gonna spin this wheel and end as Chuck Norris's ghost and Raising Cane's history of National Chicken Finger wags at us. It's season 7, episode 8. Time is a flat circle. I miss my former co-hosts. What is the end of a long run ends tonight as it lands on fucking Waterworld, bro. That's it. It's over.
No way.
That's it. It's
no
over.
way.
That's it. It's over.
No way.
That's it. It's over.
No way.
That's it. It's over. That's the end of the show forever. That's the end of the show forever. That's the end of the show forever. We always said if it ever landed on Waterworld, we'd end the show. Ladies and gentlemen, man of my word, goodbye forever.